up, everybody? It's your boy Heems, and guys, we are back with another reaction video. Guys, shouts out to the homie Octus Nero. He had recommended for us some good little Star Wars because we actually managed to watch a few of both the trailer for the Obi-Wan, where they actually gonna have both Hayden Christensen and Aaron McGregor playing both back again after almost maybe if not 20 years, even over 20 years. And yeah, what's crazy because I was actually reading an article today and they were talking about how, and it was always a bad critique on the show as a whole. You had a lot of people, or as the movie, especially the prequels like episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I always liked them. And it's kind of cool though because they said even the cast members and stuff that they actually have, or the people in the background that helps, like, you know, as far as like the lighting, the sound, these are people that grew up during that era. I remember seeing Star Wars The Phantom Menace like what, early 1999 while it was still in theaters. And then over the years, the one I never got a chance to see for a long time was the Clone Wars. But I got a chance to see in the Clone Wars movie, then go back and see the whole thing, then get to see the anime. And ever since then, even like with the Clone Wars that they had on Disney, by far great saga. Hayden Christensen, by far, even though he had got a lot of bad rep, I really think he was one of the best actors that they could ask for, that matched down even too. Because one thing, like even Aaron McGregor had mentioned, was trying to live up to the fame or live up to the hype of the original actor that played. But it's kind of ironic because it's like living up even just to himself, because like he became an iconic person. But guys, enough talking. Without further ado, let's go ahead and check this out. Today's video that we're reacting to, excuse me. Let me go ahead and fix that. Today, guys, we are reacting to why Hayden Christensen played Anakin perfectly, Star Wars Explained. This is through Star Wars Theory. I strongly recommend you guys watch their channel. They have great content there. Anything that you want to think of or any theories that you may have had on Star Wars, they're definitely the one to check out. But guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And as a reminder too, real quick guys, we've been tinkering around with the sound. Now just as a reminder to everybody, now this is not only, as you may be able to see, the volume is maxed out on the YouTube page. On my Streamlabs, the desktop audio is maxed out as well. If that doesn't work, the only other thing I could think of is like the actual Elgato. So I'll try that too, but if worst comes to worst, guys, just be patient with your boy. And as long as you can still hear it just enough, then at least we could do that for now until we can eventually upgrade sooner. Because actually, this was actually new for me, experimenting with this. Prior to this, I was actually editing and doing all this stuff like in a previous room, and I purposely had the audio to where it was like secondhand, meaning you can hear it off the laptop over actually hearing it. It's like, as far as basically the audience can hear it, but you're hearing the audio secondhand. You're not hearing it the same way as I am. So I figured this would be better because we could both be submerged in the experience. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. We try to get it, but you guys, once again, enough talk. Let's get into this.
It's unfair.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey everyone, and welcome to today's new video. So, I hope you're all having an awesome day. I want to talk about something that I always wanted to talk about with you guys. One of the biggest stigmas out there is that Hayden Christensen was the worst actor to choose for Anakin Skywalker's role. Now, I made this post on Twitter and Instagram yesterday about it, but I'd like to make a video today going over my thoughts on it in full. Now, Hayden played Anakin in episodes 2 and 3. The majority of people hated the character, and even George has gone on to say this: poor Hayden, his performance is great, they just don't like the character. Now, while all that might be true, many people didn't like his acting because they said he was too whiny, monotone, and lacks emotion. While I fully agree with all of you there, I'm also here to address just why he was the perfect fit. George went through Anakin's story with Hayden the entire time. From pre-production to post-production, Hayden knew the character inside and out. He knew who he'd turn into and who he had to start out as. Let's take
This game, you're not ready.
Anakin as if he were a real human in today's world. You know what? Rather, let's make it personal. Anakin is you. You are Anakin. So let's begin. You're born without a father figure. Your mom and you have to survive being slaves by the Hutts, and then some disgusting flying creature that whips you and beats you until you're black and blue. Seriously, that happened in the books and comics to Anakin all the time. You grow up seeing your mom treated like garbage, and you can't do anything about it because you're just a little boy, who's also a slave and has to do anything for the hand that feeds him. This kinda gives you a complex growing up, wouldn't you think? The only thing you have is building things. You like to do that in your own downtime, and really robots are your only friend anyways. Some magical wizard comes along with this beautiful looking girl and whisks you away to a life of being a space wizard, where you can move stuff with your mind and help people, because after living in a life of poverty and torture your whole life, all you just want to do is have justice for yourself, your mom, and the people around you, as much as you can. So you leave your mom in slavery on this terrible planet, you train, you realize that you're more powerful than everyone in your class, even some of your teachers, yet they don't advance you. They keep you in the same grade when you clearly can move forwards. You get your first mission finally, almost 10 years later, with the only woman you've had a crush on, yet you are forbidden to act on your feelings for her. You have to be like a machine, cold, numb, and monotone. That's the way that they've raised you to be. You keep having these visions of your mother dying, and then you eventually fail in saving her because you were forced to be on this mission, when you mentioned it countless times to your master, who really wasn't supposed to be your master in the first place, but only is because the real one died, and you got pawned off to his student, who definitely wasn't ready for an apprentice of his own. He disregards your thoughts on your mother whenever you mention it, and tells you to focus on the moment. You witness her death, she being tortured by faceless monsters in the desert on the planet you were a slave your whole life. You promised to become powerful and come back to save her, but they held you back. Your master ignored your warnings about her being in danger, and now you have to bury her. You fight the guy responsible for all the turmoil in the galaxy who betrayed the faction, the Jedi you were brainwashed to obey. Simultaneously, he's the same guy your original master was trained by, so you already have some strange resentment towards him. And then he cuts your arm off. You get married in secret, then spend the next few years being a war hero above all the others for the Clone Wars. You kill the guy who took your arm, then immediately find out you're having a baby with your wife. This is kind of a double or triple whammy. The Jedi can't know that you're with anyone romantically. You can't be married, and you definitely can't be having a child. How will all of this be hidden? How will that be answered when people ask her about it? Will she have to have a fake husband? How will that work? This entire time since you've become a space wizard, I guess we could say, you've been manipulated by this old man who's the closest thing to an uncle to you, Palpatine. Or maybe even like a father. You have dreams of your wife dying in childbirth constantly. Now this uncle figure says that there's a way to save people from dying, but not through the Jedi, who you've trusted your whole life. But you're now starting to doubt a little bit with their actions and their over-involvement with politics. You're now probably the most conflicted you've ever been in your whole life. You already lost your mom because you were held back all those years when you could have been developing your powers further, to maybe give you more insight a lot earlier or save those from death sooner. Your mind now begins to point fingers at everyone, all in anger and desperation. You're moody, you're stressed out, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not respected the way you should be by anyone here, especially those below you. But yet, you keep your cool by being callous, numb, monotone, like a machine, like a ticking time bomb. You're given a seat on the council. What an honor, but you're denied the rank of master. This has never been done in history. Not only is that outrageous and unfair, but it would have granted you access to the restricted section that only masters have access to. Perhaps this would have led you to learning how to save your wife from dying, preventing you from turning to the dark side and pledging your allegiance to this.
Real quick, I'm curious though, if let's say he did gain access and would they have tried to like arrest him? Because they actually said at one point in time, like in the Jedi Temple, there's actually a secret area where they keep secret prisoners. So I'm wondering, like, would it have been one of those things, kind of like I don't know if you want to even add this as a mix, even though this is like apples and oranges. This is like Orochimaru, like in the Naruto concept, trying to figure out like the studies of life and what would have happened if everybody had found out that this is what he was doing. Then it would even open up a more door about, well, why are you doing this? Well, my baby mama, my girl, she about to what? You pregnant? You ain't supposed to be. We Jedi. You ain't. But let's continue.
Sith, and your new uncle. The dreams won't stop either. You find out your uncle father figure is behind all of this and that he's the most powerful and evil guy in the universe. He was even behind the guy that chopped off your arm in the first place. You tell the guy who has always doubted you, always given you a hard time, and always felt like you didn't deserve your powers. Not to mention, he denied you the rank you deserve. He says go sit and wait for us big boys to take care of business. You sit, you think, You cry because you can't really do anything else with all of these pent-up emotions that you've had for years and years on end. And in response to losing the only person who promised to treat you with the power and respect that you deserve, you run to see what's going on. You're caught in between the guy that has always disliked you and the uncle-father figure who promised to save your wife. In a split-second decision, without thinking, purely on emotion, it's about you saving your wife or saving the guy who has always been mean to you. You choose your wife.
Yeah.
There's no going back. You're in this life for good. You explode. You kill everyone, including the kids. You're on a power trip. All those years of pent-up emotions and powers that you could never use are now unleashed in a span of just a few hours for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
You are sent to kill annoying, evil politicians on a fire plant. You kill them, you see your wife, she wants you to run away and raise your child together. You calm down, you consider it, you look up to think, and what do you see? Your master in the doorway of her ship. Rage. Blind, dark rage engulfs you. The next thing you know, she's passed out on the ground. You don't know how. Now it's just him in your path. You don't focus on the Force. You don't focus on your training. You just unleash. You're winning. He gets the high ground. You have a god complex. You think you can do anything in the galaxy, including beating him the way that he beat the first Sith Lord in 1,000 years, which you know all about. This fuels your ego even more, thinking that you are that much better than him and you can beat him at his own move. You try it and you lose. You then spend the rest of your life in a terrible, agonizing misery of depression, where no one you know is around you anymore. You are hated and feared by the entire galaxy, and you never really can see your face again because you're entombed in this black suit. And everything on you is pretty much burned off. Yeah, everything.
What?
Hayden knew this was Anakin's life when he read the script for the role. He played the character perfectly. He was the literal definition of a brainwashed soldier. However, the only issue was he was brainwashed only after he spent about a decade in a life of misery and torture with the only family that he had, his mother. Those emotions will mess you up. Eventually, the obedient dog, when mistreated, I don't care how obedient he's trained to be, will respond to nature's calling and bite back. If we take all of this into account, then Hayden did a fantastic job. Watch the prequels again, at least Revenge of the Sith. His entire demeanor is always as if he's processing something, and that's the genius right there. Whether Hayden did this intentionally or not, it's how Anakin should be. Conflicted. He was always conflicted. Luke sensed it in him, even into his older age as Vader. Anakin always had this hate, and it's because of what happened to him as a kid that's something that only got worse the more he was mistreated and stressed out with all of his complexes that I just mentioned. Also, for those who don't know, Hayden actually paid so much attention to how James Earl Jones sounds as Darth Vader, he would try to pronunciate the same words in the same style of context.
Yep.
Notice how he says the words, "my master." He rolls the words together, just like Vader did. He paid very close attention to the role, and I think he did a really good job. I think Anakin is Hayden, and Hayden is Anakin. Maybe there are others who could play his part, sure, but that doesn't mean that he didn't do a great job or that they could do a better one. This is what we got, and I think it lives up to the part. If you guys think differently, I encourage all of you to put your thoughts down below for everyone to see. Now, on a side note, since you have made it to the end of the video, I have released all the auditions for the Vader fan film web series that I'm trying to create.
Ooh.
According to Lucasfilm's rules, if you missed the video, I will be paying for the entire project myself.
What?
This is a huge project, and if you want to see everything that the channel brings, then feel free to donate to the Patreon down below. According to the rules, I can't crowdfund for the fan film, so I won't be doing that. I will be paying for it out of my pocket. But of course, if you want to see everything that I've promised on this channel, please do donate or check out the Patreon down below in the description box. It's a beautiful story where Vader is ordered to go back to Naboo to kill the final remnants of Order 66, which includes Mace Windu and his band of 10 other Jedi Masters, Padawans, and younglings. Will Vader be strong enough to live up to the test? And will his clones be able to survive? Thank you everyone for your time, and I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
The Force will be with you always.
Now, fulfill your destiny.
That was hot. That was good. That, and to anybody that hates his role, Like, I don't know. For me, it just gave me a further appreciation because, like, I don't know. I just liked Hayden Christensen's character as a whole. I even liked his voice and the way because it basically matched to even like how Vader talked. This is with the respirator, but now without, because like when he did like, "Thank you, my man," I was like, it fit. It fit for him. And it goes even deeper because it's like it even goes to show. And it's like you have to look at that, and that's what I don't know. It's like when we was watching the previous reaction of like Anakin, like him growing up being the chosen one, to the Darth Vader tribute. It's like that dude been through so much pain, and yet a lot of that stuff is relatable. He already grew up in a situation where he was already made to feel like inferior. I didn't even know about that part. I mean, but I guess like they say, it's kind of a duh, like because they were both slaves. But like the type of like the type or whatever abuse that would be used against them was unlimited. And then it's like you finally get something that looks magical or too good to be true. They rescue you. They say you're this, you're that. Then that same person dies, Qui-Gon Jinn. Then you're stuck with Qui-Gon Jinn's apprentice, who, for one, just became a Jedi Knight, and he only did that based off of what just happened to his master, and he's still inexperienced. So it's like a teenage brother trying to take care of like a 10-year-old, and yet that teenager has not been in a position to where like maybe the parents fully groomed him to know what and how. He may, like, as far as like, if you want to say the bare primitive like protections of like, hey, protect him from physical danger, or if you see him sad, but to really dig deep, because I'm pretty sure if Qui-Gon was there, he probably would have done a better job. Because Qui-Gon too, he went with the Jedi Order, but he also cut against the grain too. When it came down to it, he did what he felt was right, even if the Jedi Order disagreed with him. And Anakin has the same rebellious. I think that would have melted better, and then at the very least, whatever Anakin did that was against the grain, I think it would have been a little bit more better molded or better guided to where it was still in the end for the benefit of the Jedi Order and just for, the balance of the Force. But going through all that, going to school, people are alienating you, and how many people been in a situation where like you've been in school and you've been bullied or people calling you names? You got to carry that stigma. I didn't even know, like, yeah, he didn't, and thinking back on it, because I was reading different little stuff, like, he didn't even have missions for, like, a long time, and you could hear the people, the other younglings talk about him. He even dismantled some kind of robot real quick. Palpatine saw that, and he was saying, oh, well, he should do this and do that, and Palpatine even then at such an early age was starting to sink his claws into him. Like, oh, you're way above them, and then you finally get a mission. Then you run to the girl you had a crush on since you was a little kid, and then you keep getting visions about your mother dying. Then you actually find out your mother's dying and died, and she died in his arms. And even like people saying like his character was so robotic, but the thing is that is the way of the Jedi. You don't see them sitting there just like casually lounging around. When have you ever seen like Mace Windu and anybody else like just lounging around, just having a good time? They may have made a little bit of humor amongst themselves, amongst their journey, but it was always taught to be selfless, to be emotionless, to have no emotions. And anything that led to anything where it could even slightly lead into anger it led to the dark side. Loving a person could lead to the dark side because of passion. Passion was seen as evil. And later on, in hindsight, when Luke beat his dad, the whole Empire had died, he had founded the Jedi Order, and he included emotion. So now you can be emotional. You can do these things. You can love and still try to find that balance in between. So, I mean, I don't know. I definitely like Hayden Christensen's acting. I loved the movie. I've spammed that movie so much back in high school. And like I said, it's like looking at his character, and it's like you feel like it resonates with you because like I feel like this is stuff you go through. This is things that you've been through. So it's like you could feel the emotions, you could feel like the essence of what this guy went through. Pause. You know, you could feel everything that this guy has been through. And to go through all that and, you know, really studied in method acting and just to be booted like that for so long. But I think in the end what was cool about it all in hindsight, because you even hear Aaron McGregor talk about it, and that is the fact that now they're getting the recognition that they deserve. Now, you know, they're being welcomed with open arms. I think the only thing that they may have regretted is just that they didn't get that feeling before. But then it's kind of like a lot of things, you know. It's like people don't see, they just see the tree. They don't see the forest. They don't really give stuff a shot, you know. And it's like you at that time, because like my dad's generation and my dad and his generation, they grew up on the original Star Wars. So it's like oh, but you're not Luke Skywalker and you're not this and you're not that, and you got to go into it with an open mind. Now, some things, and like I said, I could sound controversial to certain things, but I think a lot of people should have went to that open mind, because look what it did in hindsight. A lot of people like it now. So, guys, what was your thoughts? Do you think that Hayden Christensen has redeemed himself? Do you think that he never needed redemption at all, and that he was the man for the job? Did you like the prequel? Has this given you incentives to want to check out the prequel? I strongly recommend you guys check it out. And like he said, if you don't, at least watch Revenge of the Sith. That was really good. But guys, if you like this reaction video, you like the critique, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to your boy. As a reminder, guys, when you hit that like, it really helps out the channel. It helps with the algorithm, because the way the algorithm is set up, guys, if you don't like, it basically shows like a lack of interest, and it basically hurts the channel. So to everybody, guys, please smash that like button for me. And if I do see actually where a lot of people who watch my content don't subscribe, if you guys can too, subscribe. All of this helps me out, guys, and in turn, guys, I'm just going to keep pouring out as much content as I can. Shouts out to Octus Nero, because this man really came in the clutches and has provided us with a lot of content, as well as with what I've been either like digging up as far as with gaming articles and stuff, but he helped us to like even broaden out and check out even some more stuff outside of that. So I strongly recommend anybody and everybody who's watching this, if you have a suggestion, if there's anything you could think of that you would like for me to react, if it's even something new as far as a try not to laugh challenge to the Hodge twins, I was thinking about doing that anyway. Anything else you could think of, guys, please spam it in the comments, guys. Let's get this going. But guys, your boy streams Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Late starts at between 6:15 and 6:30. I stream on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Trovo Live, and D Live. For updates on when I'm going to stream or if I'm going to call it a quit that day, follow me on Discord as well as on Instagram and Twitter to know exactly what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to try to do in hindsight, guys, is just, if I don't stream, put up as many uploads. I really do appreciate the feedback from you guys, and it looks like you guys are enjoying it. So like I said, guys, keep the ideas flowing, keep them pumping, and we're going to bring them out, guys. But to everybody, this is your boy Heems Cats Game, and sign out for another one. I'll see you guys soon with more content. To everybody out there, peace till the next video.